Hi, I'm Doddy. I work for Mountain Biking UK magazine, and to accompany the technique features that we produce in the magazine covering all forms of bike riding, we're producing this special one-off DVD showing you various techniques from jumping to cross-country riding to basic bunny hops. Hopefully it will give you a good grasp on how to push forward with your riding. Hope you enjoy it. Traction is one of the most important things on a mountain bike. Simply put, if you can't put your power onto the ground, then you're going to get nowhere. Some of the things we're going to look at today are the fact that when riding up a hill, you're going to need to alter your body weight. The reason being because if it's a steep hill, your front wheel is going to climb. If you put your weight over the front end of the bike, your rear wheel is going to spin. Okay, so that's basically the concept of traction. But along with that is line choice. And on this particular bit of hill in front of me, there's a slight bit we have to weave around a couple of rocks and there's a bit of an off-camber ledge. If you don't get your line right, your rear wheel's going to slip and you're going to lose traction, possibly have to put your feet down, etc. Ruins your flow. Second bit, this last little lunge at the top here is very steep. It's going to create a wheel spin effectively, so you need to make sure you're in the right position on the bike. As you're coming up this rise here, there's obviously a potential hazard here to start with. Got a big couple of slabs of rock in here. So you do have the option of being able to ride over them, but seeing as they're wet, that's pretty much a no-no, so you want to go around them. As you're going around them, be aware that you could catch your foot on this as you're pedalling, so try and time your pedalling so your feet go around it. As you go around this next section here, this is like one of the bigger hazards. You've got an off-camber section. If you've got enough speed and enough power, you should go up on the high side of it because that's flatter and it's going to have more traction there. But if you can't quite get that line right, you're going to need to dip on this side. But what you don't want to do is step on the edge here and you're going to slide off into this. That's when you lose all your momentum. Following on from here, assuming you got this right, you come up to this final section. There's a short, sharp little climb. As you come up here, you're going to have to keep your weight on the nose of the saddle, like I said earlier, to keep your weight on the rear wheel. But the front wheel is also going to try and climb off the ground, so you have to make sure you keep your weight low on the bars. So let's have a look. Note when I'm coming up, I'm also covering my brakes, so should I have to stop in a hurry, I can. Obviously when you're on the trail itself, you are going to encounter more hazards than we looked at today. Two of these being roots and rocks. Roots, it's important for you to hit these as square on as possible, i.e. with it 90 degrees to your wheel. If it's slightly at an angle, you could slide out as you get to it. Instead of using roots and rocks as an example, we're actually going to show you riding up quite a steep flight of steps. What this does is demonstrate a real obvious way of me moving my weight forwards and backwards on the bike in order to keep traction and stop the front wheel from climbing. There's a lot of factors in it, but they all apply to your off-road riding. What we have here is a fairly steep bank alongside a little stream here, and it has 3 or 4 steps on it. Now, riding up here, as well as actually being able to get traction on the bank itself, you've got to concentrate on getting over these steps. This is exactly the same rule as you have to apply when you're riding off-road over routes and stuff. I've chosen to use this example because it's very obvious for you to see the body position I'm going to have on my bike and how I need to use that. So let's put it back to basics as we looked at the beginning. As you're riding up one of these steps, I'm going to need to keep my weight on the back of the bike to allow the front wheel to climb over it. But then as the front wheel is going to start going up, I'm going to need to get my weight to the front of the bike again. As the back wheel climbs over the step, it's going to try and wheel spin. So I need to increase the traction by putting the weight back on the saddle again. So you're going to see me constantly moving fore and aft on the bike and able just to get up here. So as well as looking at my line, I've got to concentrate on traction as I'm doing it. So everything's got to be perfect or I simply can't get up it. So not sure if I can actually do this, but let's give it a go. Right, I'll get my line exactly right here. Home and dry.